Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatuallahi wa barakatuh. They say you are the sum of the five people you spend time with. And I've been thinking of this a lot lately. How much the people around us shape who we become. And in Islam, it's not just a nice idea to have good friends. It's actually something spiritual. And our Prophet ﷺ said, a person is on the religion of their close friend. So be careful who you befriend. And that's heavy, isn't it? It means our friends don't just influence what we wear or you know how we basically spend our day, but they influence us how we think and how we act, even how we view Allah. And I think we've all had friends in our lives where um they reminded us of Allah just by being who they are. And the kind of friend who messages you and tells you, you want to go to the masjid. Um, then you go there and you read some Quran together. Those kind of friends. And these people are sincere. They're actually like caring for you, and they want to have the best for you. And I think I've also had many people around me who also made me forget like what I want to be or who I want to be in this life, because then they kind of remind me of things that are basically not worth going for. And you notice how easy it is to skip salah when you're surrounded by people who don't pray. When you're spending time with someone who's not a Muslim, it's very easy to forget that you need to pray Dhuhr or Asr, and you're outside and you're around with that guy who's not Muslim. But when you're around someone who actually is Muslim and he's a practicing one, you just know that, yeah, you have this feeling around him that you're still thinking about Salah. And especially if you're close to someone who's actually practicing his faith, who's practicing his religion, Islam. um this could be the kind of guy who he gets up to pray without saying much, and you just follow him, not because you have any pressure, but just because of the energy you feel. You just need to follow him. And I think this is the kind of guy we need to aspire to be in this life. And the Quran actually mentions friendship on the day of judgment. Woe to me, I wish I hadn't taken so and so as a friend. And imagine that, the regret of being pulled off the path because of someone you thought was just a harmless hangout, basically. But it also works the other way. There are friends that Allah will honor on the day of judgment. Friendships based on love for His sake. People who prayed together, forgave each other, reminded one another, not because they were perfect, but because they actually genuinely cared about you. And I think one of the most underrated blessings in this life is that one friend who keeps you grounded. They don't have to be, like super religious or whatever, but they're sincere, that is like practicing Muslims. They pray 5 times a day, they fast, they lower their gaze, they, keep you on the path of Islam, you know? And the kind of guy who also when you're slipping, when you've sinned, whatever, they tell you to not do this or this and this again because they care about you. They want to protect you, right? And in a world where we're told to just do you and cut off anyone who disagrees, teaches something deeper. Islam basically says choose friends who remind you of your purpose. And our purpose in this life is to worship Allah. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So worshiping Allah is our purpose in this life, right? So if you got someone like that, friend like that, someone who reminds you of Allah, even in small ways, hold on to them, and thank Allah for them. Be that friend for someone else. And if you don't have that yet, you don't have that close friend, don't worry. Just make dua, ask Allah to surround you with people who bring out the best in you in this life and the next. Because that's where real friendship exists in Islam. You know, not just laughter and memories, but love that leads to Jannah. You know, I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you've liked it, like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.